All right. It's your brother, Bumpy, Chill Jones, Jawbreaker Jones, etc., etc., etc. Welcome back to Supreme Strike, and it's been a while, man. I've been busy. Um, it's been crazy out here, man. We're gonna do we're gonna do a show on my little brother Anthony Rumble Johnson, who passed away. But not yet. Shout out to Volkanovski, fighting Romero today, UFC. But today we're gonna talk boxing. We got to get into this boxing thing because, and the reason I'm coming back because I'm not liking the narratives I'm hearing from other people, man. I hear what they're saying, I hear what they're talking about, but as a former prize fighter, I need to give y'all the real skinny, man. I need to give y'all what's really going on, you dig? And so that's exactly what I'm going to give to you today. Um, of course, we're going to talk Terrance Crawford, Errol Spence, the suspense with Terrance Crawford and Errol Spence. Is it a fish fry? Is it the big fish? Is we going hunting? Is we going fishing? It's all types of stuff going on. So we're gonna get there. But first, mark your calendars. September 30th, a fight that's well overdue. Canelo Alvarez challenging Jermall Charlo, Cinnamon versus Charlo. This is going to be crazy. It's going to be a crazy fight. This is a fight we've wanted for a while. Um, both men in their prime. Canelo 32, Charlo 33. Uh, height, size, Charlo with power, Canelo. And what we're hearing most people say is it's a cherry pick, it's this, that, it's the other. Let me tell you something about Canelo Alvarez. This dude is very smart, very intelligent, and very wise. And very wise. Why, you say? A few things. Number one, he waited for the perfect time. Waited for the perfect timing. Uh, Jermall is now at the height of his career after stopping Brian Castano in their rematch. Um, but he has holes. He has holes. Canelo also has holes. The question will be, can Jermall expose those holes? But the reason Canelo's so smart is because as soon as he was backed in the corner, and when I say backed in the corner, I mean you're going to fight Benavidez or you're going to fight Bivol, right? He ain't really had no choice. He doesn't really look like he wants to fight Bivol again. Now Bivol is like, I'll come down to your weight. I'll threaten you there at your own weight. And so he doesn't really want to take the Bivol fight. He doesn't want to fight the Mexican monster David Benavidez, who would right now, except for David Morell, my man Demetrius Andrade as well. Um, so he was in a corner because he's got all those belts. What do? You call out the bigger brother, Jermall Charlo. Jermall hasn't been in a fight in 3 years. And he's having some mental problems, they say as well. We hope you get better, brother. 3 years. Argument with his girlfriend on the internet. She like, he ain't never fighting again, blah, 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 this, that, the other. And he says, let's fight. Very intelligent. Very intelligent. Because he knows you as a fight fan will not say, that's a duck. He knows you're going to say that. He knows you're suckered into it. He ain't been in the ring in 3 years. Canelo will wash Jermall Charlo at this point. He's smart, though. He said, I ain't fighting Andre. That boy can box. But you know what he did do? He said, okay, if you won't fight me, I'll fight your brother. This is a matchup we have been clamoring for a long time. When Canelo was in the 154-pound division, we wanted to see him fight that Charlo, and we wanted to see him fight Andre. He would do neither, but guess what? The time is prime and right now. So he calls him out. And it's wartime now. And to be honest with you, Canelo's been carrying this extra weight. So the power is with him. He's been taking bigger shots. The chin is there. Will Jermall have enough power to even phase Canelo at this point in time? Will his boxing pedigree be there? I think he might be a little faster, so I believe he'll touch Canelo. But Canelo's the smaller guy. And Canelo is an expert at chopping the giant tree down. He's an expert at it. Bivol is the first time he's had an issue with the giant. And it's because carrying all that extra weight, yeah, it's going to make you breathe a little different. It's going to make your legs a little heavy when you get to them championship rounds, the 10th on. And so Jermall has got a really big task in front of him because he's going to look bigger. He's not going to carry more power. He's going to be longer, but it's going to be, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. I'm picking Charlo for the upset, but just for the record, Canelo is just being really smart right now. He's a thinker. Sean Porter there with the microphone. Y'all know what it is. Sean knows. Look how Sean head leaning. You see this? You see the direction Sean is leaning in. I'm just saying. Let's go. Let's move on. We got bigger fish to fry. Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney. This is another smart fighter. Devin bet on himself against George Kambosos in Australia and put on a boxing clinic to the point where you couldn't even say, what was you going to say? Nah, Kambosos did enough. You couldn't. You couldn't. And then he turns around and beats Vasily Lomachenko. Now, most people think that Vasily Lomachenko won that fight. I do not. I do not. I think it was at the end of the seventh when he hit him with the uppercut and wobbled Vasily. No one spoke on that at all. Got real quiet in the booth. Tim Bradley stopped talking. It changed a little bit. Lomachenko had some success, far few and in between, and Haney definitely had success. Oh, the body shots are doing nothing is the talk, but them body shots were making Vasily jump backwards. It was stopping him from punching. They were the only shots being landed for a while. For a while. Devin the Dream Haney gets real intelligent when it comes to the Shakur Stevenson matchup. Why? Because like I know, we seen a video with them two sparring. Shakur Stevenson, he got the better of that sparring from what we saw. Remember, Haney bet on himself. A lot of people thought it was a dumb move. I said, it's the only move you got, really. But he's saying 75 to 25% of Shakur Stevenson for the payday. And Shakur will get the biggest payday of his career, but that means nothing. That means nothing at this stage. And so he's telling Shakur, you'll get 25%. I'll take 75% of the purse. What do you think? Shakur turns it down. And the whole boxing community turned on Shakur, didn't they? Shakur, who had been staring at Haney in clubs, luau parties, stepping in the ring, staring at him. Haney said 75-25. He's like, you out your damn mind. And I don't blame Shakur because that's not a cut. That's not a big cut. It's one thing to gamble on yourself. It's another thing to, commit economic suicide. It's just not enough. It's not enough for these two. If you're the A side, which Haney is, you say 60-40. 60-40. And really, it's good he's turning it down now because two things. One, Haney has options where he can throw this at him anyway. And two, there's so many other big fights that are happening right now and possibly potentially happening. This is not the time. This is not the time. It's not the time. It'll be eclipsed by too much. You're going to be talking Charlo Canelo. You're going to be talking Crawford Spence. And then you're probably going to be talking Thurman battles the winner, or Boots Ennis battles the winner. Speaking of which, Boots Ennis is on Showtime tonight against David Villa, who beat Speedy Rashidi Ellis. And really, if you watch that fight, Rashidi won that fight. But Villa was landing some heavy shots and dropped Rashidi at the end of the fight. But Rashidi outboxed him. I wanted to see Rashidi versus Jerron Boots Ennis, but we're not going to get that. That's on tonight, Showtime. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Shakur is a beast. Everybody's going to outprice him right now. The only outpricing payday at 25% that is probably worth it is if we see a Shakur versus Gervonta Davis fight. We're probably not going to get that anytime soon. We're probably not going to get that anytime soon. If ever. If ever. But Haney did the smart thing, priced himself out. I would have did the same thing, knowing the danger that Shakur presents, and knowing Haney could possibly go beat Regis Prograde at 140 pounds. He can definitely box better than Prograde. Regis is a tough, durable fighter, and his power is there. So we can see Devin on his pockets. We can see Devin stunned, or we could see what we probably all think a slick fighter moves incredibly, and he's simply not meant to be beat. Simply not meant to be beat, and that could happen. Not meant to be beat by the likes of Regis Prograde. So that's them. Shakur, Devin. At the moment, it's on the shelf. Let's keep it moving though, because the Mexican monster, the Mexican monster, calling out Canelo at a fervent pace. Man, he's calling Canelo. Where you at? Where you at, homie? Right? Vigor. I want to get it in. Why you holding on to them belts? Benavidez, Andre, both calling Canelo out. Give up the belts. Get lost. Canelo smart. He says, let's fight, Jermall. So we know Benavidez is not next on the menu, but a fight we are clamoring to see is him versus David Morell. Now, David Morell, I used to think he was an upstart. I didn't think he had it. After his last two performances, I think him and Benavidez is a classic in the making. Morell and Benavidez is a classic in the making because both have power. Both will trade and get hit. The question is Morell's boxing prowess a little bit better than Benavidez's. I don't know. After seeing, he looks more polished in the ring in that last affair where he stopped the man again. Just he's looking good. It's not looking like the early stages where he's rough around the edges. I was like, Benavidez will stretch you, kid. I don't think so now. I think now is the longer Benavidez waits to fight him, the more problematic it can be. It can be. Andre wanted to fight. We'll talk about my man Demetrius in 2 seconds. This is a problem because Morell is calling him on social media the B word. Benavidez' father answered back. Like, we ain't hear nothing about no Morell. You under the radar, but we know you heard about Morell. The problem is it's not juicy enough right now. Benavidez has work to do, and Morell, you got to go on the back burner for a second, in their opinion. In their opinion, because he could fight Canelo, that's big money. He could fight Bivol, that's big money. He could fight Better Beef because he's talking about moving up if he doesn't get the Canelo fight. David Benavidez is. I wouldn't blame him because he's beaten Bivol up in sparring. Beat him up in sparring. I would really like to see him against Better Beef. If we can't get it against Morell, can we get it against Better Beef? David Benavidez versus Better Beef. What's better than that? Nothing. Those are fights we want to see. Those are fights we want to see. That's what we're looking to see, man. Demetrius Andre. A big payday for Demetrius Andre right now because he's not in the mix with either one of these two. I would like to see Andre get at Berlanga. If you can't get the winner of Charlo Canelo, which you might, Andre, going over there and pepper Berlanga. Berlanga presents power. He's danger. You two fighting each other is probably going to sell a lot of tickets. If PBC is going to give you a big payday, that would be one I would say they should pay you for. I know your boxing prowess is good enough where you can touch Benavidez. I don't know if I want to see you against him or Morell. I know you could touch both of them, but their power and that size is a little different. I know Andre is probably going to drop one of them because there's no better boxer right now. He's going to drop one of them for sure. He's definitely going to put hands on him. Question is, when he gets hit, what will happen with one of them hitting him? One of them hitting him. Andre was putting hands on Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant did quite well against Benavidez. He would have stood on his feet. He would have. That was a dangerous fight for Benavidez. More competitive than I thought it should have been. Anyway, let's keep it moving, man. This fight right here. Unified Gervonta Davis versus George Kambosos. World Box. No, it's not happening. But Kambosos is showing interest in fighting Gervonta Davis, and that could be a barn burner type fight. Two guys, same height. You know, Gervonta coming off of the Ryan Garcia knockout. Kambosos coming off the Haney loss. But to be honest with you, remember, Kambosos is the one who got Teofimo. Took the belts from Teofimo, didn't he? Dropped Teofimo. We all thought Teofimo versus Tank would be a good fight. I want to see him and Davis get it in. I want to see him and Davis get it in. Gervonta versus Kambosos. I think that's an excellent battle because Kambosos got power. Kambosos got power. He doesn't have the boxing prowess of Devin Haney, which is why he got outboxed. Haney is bigger than both of these dudes. And you've seen it. The jab, peppering, bloop, 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 bloop. Tie up. Bloop, 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 bloop. Tie up. Put hands on you. Tie him up. But Kambosos can hurt Gervonta. We already know Gervonta can knock Kambosos out. We already know that. You don't want to see ferocious Kambosos versus Tank Davis? You don't want to see ferocious Kambosos versus Tank Davis? I'd rather see that than the Isaac Cruz fight. Or give us Kambosos, Isaac Cruz. I don't think I really want to see Davis versus Isaac Cruz again. I know Gervonta was hurt during that fight. But I would like to see him versus ferocious Kambosos. Tank Davis. That's the fight. That's a fight that I'd like to see put on the table. Shakur Stevenson against either one of them. I think Shakur is going to beat either one of them. It's most dangerous for Shakur against Tank. Kambosos, he outboxes, no problem. Tank got that one-hitter quitter shot, so Shakur's in a little bit of danger right there. But I think his boxing prowess pulls him out of there. Shakur is the best in that division, bar none. He doesn't have the belts to prove it, but he's the best in the division. Haney's the champion, but we got footage of what happened when he got in there with Haney. We know what that's about. I was waiting to see the Lomachenko Shakur Stevenson sparring because they sparred too. I wanted to see what happened. I know Loma ain't trying to fight him. I'd still like to see Lomachenko versus Kambosos too. Those can be put on the table. But this fight right here interests me because of the power, the athleticism of both, and the bravado of both. They're going to go for it. That's a fight you don't want to miss. We know what. We seen the Isaac Cruz fight. We know what that looked like. We know what that's going to look like. Let's keep it moving. Let's get to the nit and the grit. Spence versus Crawford Jr., man. Huh? Spence versus Crawford Jr. July 29th. undisputed welterweight championship. We've been begging for this. You know what we really was begging for? We wanted to see Keith Thurman fight one of these two, and Keith wouldn't give it to us. Now Keith lost his belts to Pacquiao. I used to type in the forums, what if Pacquiao beats Thurman? What does that say about this generation of boxing compared to the last? And what did we see? Pacquiao put Thurman on his pockets. First round. Now Thurman is not mentioned as much, but he's still viable. But he may end up fighting Ennis. But we have this on July 29th. And so now we get to see the two avoided by Thurman get it in, get it on for the best, really the best fighter on the planet. Canelo also called out Spence if he wins and Spence wins. I think Spence says yes to that because he generally gives a Charlo or two the business when he's in the ring, and he's got the frame to move up in size. 168 might be a stretch. 154, definitely he can go there without question. Crawford wants to go to 154. He wants Charlo after this. You see how we got a four-way dance spurning? Say Charlo wins and Crawford wins. They're both going to dance with each other right after this fight here, more than likely. Let's put the shoe on the other foot. Say Spence wins and Canelo wins. It's a good possibility both of them are going to dance after this fight, if that takes place. What if Crawford? No, I don't think Crawford Canelo could happen too. No one's talking about that. Crawford and Canelo could happen. Anyway, let's analyze this fight for a minute. Spence, excellent body puncher, good with the jab, and he boxes better than people give him credit for. He outboxed Danny Garcia. He outboxed Mikey Garcia. He can box. The jab is proficient with him. The body shots are deadly for him. Crawford definitely can box. And his power and speed. He's already been unified champ, so he knows what it takes to get there. This is Spence's first time. This is Crawford's mother's birthday. What'd he tell us? I ain't losing on my mother's birthday. I ain't losing on my mama's birthday. You know, if your mama comes see you fight a little bit harder. I remember my mother, we used to get in fights in the projects over here at Garden Court. One time they had jumped me, sent me home. I was like, I could beat them. They keep jumping me. She walked me out there. She smacked the other girl, the other dude, mama. And me and him got busy, and I dog walked him. Because mama was there. If it was my mom's birthday, he wouldn't have had a chance at all. He didn't have a chance no way because he was there. Think if it was her birthday, I'd have, oh goodness. And so it's Crawford's mother's birthday, July 29th. Spence is coming in full force. He's ready. He's rare. He's the bigger fighter. He said he's smoking on some bud. Crawford said we going fishing. You know it's dangerous when you play in the water. What are the keys here? Spence really needs to establish his jab. Occasional body shots. He needs to sneak those in, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But the jab needs to dictate pressure, yes, but calm pressure, more like the Danny Garcia. Because he was getting hit with them Garcia shots, and he told you Garcia can crack. That's what he was saying. And yes, he can. I think Crawford hits harder than Garcia does, and I respect Danny's power. Stopped Eric Terrible Morales and others. And others. Danny is no joke, and he's been on the rough end of some split decisions. With one time Thurman, Sean Porter, etc. But Crawford's power is a little different. He's stopping dudes. He's stopping dudes. Um, the key for Spence, like I said, that jab. Be careful and selective with your body shots. I believe you will get countered if a catch a reaction punch where it hits your arm and you come back on the same side happens and Terrance is the one throwing it like an uppercut or a hook, is you're going to see Spence on the ground. And I've already predicted both of these dudes are going to hit the ground during this fight. It's going to happen. So prepare yourself for the shock. I can already see it. Crawford hits him with something like that. The check hook, of course, but a takeaway punch coming over the top of the jab of Spence, which he kind of leaves out there sometimes doesn't bring it back. That could be a bad night for Spence. Especially with the dental work. The dental work makes the chin a little bit different. For keys to victory for Spence or for Crawford, jab with the jabber. Be dynamic off the hook or off the jab, because if all he's doing is throwing a jab and you're going to duck and slip and throw something, boom, or you come over to catch it and come over the top of it, boom, or you throwing fainting to the body, coming upstairs to the head, then touch the body, hands up every time you come out of there, because Spence is dangerous. Crawford is dangerous, but Spence is the size differences, it's going to be a problem. Spence can hurt Crawford to the body, hurt him to the chin. It's been dropped by lesser fighters. So this fight is dangerous for both, for both without question. This is the fight we wanted to see. I think I'm definitely getting the pay-per-view since they bought all the damn tickets up in seconds. Thanks a lot, Vegas. Bought the tickets up in seconds. The pay-per-view probably will crash on a few servers. This is the fight right here. This is the one. This is the one. Nervous energy in there. Who's the better coach, James or Bomac? We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Because they're gonna need it's gonna go in deep water. I don't see a quick knockout here. I see if it's quick, it'll be like the Hagler Hearns, and it could be in reverse, right? It could be like Hagler Leonard or Hearns Leonard. Any three of those. These dudes is fighting in the welterweight division just like they were back then. This is going to go down as a classic, and it's a pick'em fight, man. It's a pick'em fight right now. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear that you totally backing them. But as a fan and a former fighter, man, all I can do is sit back and watch and enjoy, because they about to give us a classic, y'all. So that's what we have for today's show, man. I'll start to stream more. I didn't even share this a whole lot. I might share it later, but this is it. This is the one. And I'm just telling you ahead of time, we've got big fish to fry. Big fish to fry. Classics. I don't know. You tell me who you think is going to win. I can't pick it. I'm trying to. That's what's got me staggering right now. I can't really pick who I think will win this match at all. I don't know. It's too many scenarios, too many different ways it can go. But With that said, I'm gonna end the broadcast. Uh, In and Out. Come check it out. Uh, Tonight I'm picking Boots Ennis. Via said a lot about God. Showtime, y'all know what it is. Um, and I think because of the Rashidi Ellis fight, he thinks it could go the same way. He's very confident but very humble. Boots Ennis was very confident. He still spoke humbly, but he was confident and he was sure what's going to happen. So there you have it. Supreme Striking once again, back in the building, back on the map. It's been a while, so I gotta we tighten up the screws on the show, get it going, all the good stuff. But I will see y'all soon. Enjoy your Saturday. Black Arts Festival today. Come on outside. Hey, peace.